Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? I'm trying to hit all the little places that say go live so that I am alive in all the places. And let me pull this up on my phone. And as you get here, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here. Where's it at? All right. All right. I think, whoops, we are here. And make sure you say hello and let me know that you're here as you arrive. All right. Well, so last night I got on live with you guys, and thank you for being there. It was supposed to be the event with Ruthie. However, she was under the weather and not able to be there. So I did some of my stuff and answered some questions and that kind of thing. But one of the things I was a little bit distracted because I had just gotten notification that I needed to be really cautious about making sure I had plenty of flashlights and plenty of batteries and all these different things. And so I was kind of like trying to get everything together to make sure when we lost power that everything would be okay, right? We had a lot of rain and some wind and stuff, but we didn't lose power at all. Of course, from what I understand, it might be today or might be tonight. I don't know, but I'm prepared for whatever shows up, right? It's so funny. I spent so much time. I was almost late, or I was just a touch late getting on last night because I was busy with these flashlights and finding the batteries and everything. And then all of a sudden, I looked at the clock. And then I jumped in. So, and it's a nice morning this morning. It has been just drizzling a little bit, but it feels calm. And so we'll just see what happens. But I do have a niece that lives in our great niece that lives in Panama City. And so she had to actually evacuate and go somewhere else. And so at least we're not having to evacuate anything, right? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the affirmation and get started. All right. So today's affirmation is, well, I should just share it over here, right? My days are filled with joy, and I choose to see the beauty and happiness in every moment I experience. What do you think about that one? And it's interesting because this morning, as I was getting ready this morning, I was thinking about how often we don't see the beauty around us, or we don't see the value in something that's going on that maybe doesn't in the moment feel like it's for us. And we talked a little bit about that yesterday. So I guess it's still in my mind a touch, because yesterday I talked a lot about how the universe, God, is conspiring in our favor, even when an obstacle shows up. And so I wanted to really go into this space today of recognizing that we can find joy in our everyday life, right? The thing is most of the time we get so inundated with things, and things seem so common that we don't see the beauty and the joy and the magic in them. And so I invite you to spend some of your time today looking at what's going on in your life and see if you can find the beauty and the joy and the happiness in each and every moment. So I would love to know what your thoughts are on that. I'm trying to look over here and check on. So I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. And one of the things that I do sometimes, and I don't do it all the time, but I have a gratitude journal. And so a lot of times I will, when I get up in the morning, I will list the things that I can be grateful for today. And sometimes, and I will say, when I first started doing that, one of the things that was always at the top of my list was a good cup of coffee, right? And it was like I couldn't find that many things that I thought were a blessing and that I was happy about. And so it was things like that, whether I had a roof over my head, I had a good cup of coffee, you know. So in the beginning, you start with where you are. What can you find in your life to be joyful for to see the beauty and the happiness, right? And so if it ends up being for you that it's a good cup of coffee, it's a being able to pet your animal, being able to turn the lights on, there could be so many things that maybe if you just stretch out a little bit and look and see, maybe it's something that you take for granted every single day. Like we turn the light switch on and we just expect it to turn on, right? So yesterday, when I was facing this, we might lose power and everything, I even went and charged up this charging bank for my phone so that I would have something to charge my phone. If we lost power, I could actually charge it. And so I hadn't even gotten that thing out in forever. But as I was standing there and I was thinking, okay, what else do I need to be thinking about? Well, we want to be able to charge our phones. So I thought, oh my gosh, I used to have. And so I went searching and I found it, and I found the little charger cord for it. And it was like, oh my gosh, what a blessing, right? That I found this thing that I haven't even looked at. And I mean, I've moved several times, well, twice, but it's been years since I bought that thing. But last night when I thought of it and I found it, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so excited and I'm so blessed that I have this thing. And so there may be things in your life and that you've maybe tucked, oh, good morning, Lynn, good morning, that maybe you've tucked in a drawer somewhere that suddenly you can find the gift in it. You can find the value in it. So just kind of look at your life a little bit and see, how can this be a true statement for you? My days are filled with joy, and I choose to see the beauty and happiness in every moment I experience. And, I know that that charger doesn't sound like it's that big a deal, but I'm wanting you to look at the things that are going on in your life that are blessings that we just take for granted, like turning on the lights, being able to charge our cell phone, being able to turn on the water, being able to flush the toilet, being able to take a bath or a shower. I mean, for instance, my mother, where she lives, she's on a well, and they have bought very expensive generators because when they lose power, they don't have water either. And so they have these generators to be able to help them when the power goes out. They can actually have water. They can run the refrigerator. And so what a blessing is that generator, right? But it's been years since they bought it. So I wonder sometimes, do they see the blessing in it, or did they just think it's okay, turn on the generator, it's no big deal, right? So I'm just asking you to look and see, what are things that we can look at and see the blessings in them that maybe we've taken for granted for a long time. And that could even be relationships with people, relationships with yourself. Just think about it, right? So what do you think, Lynn, when this pops up, that my days are filled with joy and I choose to see the beauty and happiness in every moment I experience? Can you um, see or feel I don't even know if you're still here, but if you are, just go ahead and answer. And there's such a delay sometimes that, if I don't see it right away, it's no big deal. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the journal prompt. So this is assuming, and you know what happens with assuming, right? But I wrote this assuming that you would do it in the evening. Now you can change it a little bit if you do your journaling in the morning. So this one is for the evening. So where did you find unexpected joy in your day today? But if you're doing it this morning, then you could say, where can I find unexpected joy in my day today? Instead of where did I, right? You just change that one word and it becomes a different question. And so look at it for wherever you're at right now. So tonight, as I journal, I'm going to be looking at where did I find unexpected joy in my day today? And unexpected joy, like I went over a few of the things this morning, but now my focus all day long, and that's what I want for you, my focus all day long is to see unexpected joy. And remember, what we look for, we find. So if you look for ways that things are going to go wrong, they're going to go wrong. But if you look for unexpected joy in your day, as you're going through it, you're going to find more unexpected joy. And so I want that for you, to have a day filled with unexpected joy. And then you're going to actually look at it again and say, how can you shift your perspective to discover more joyful moments in your daily routine? And the way you usually shift is to just be open and aware that everything can be a piece of joy if you want to see it that way. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to go back to the affirmation. My days are filled with joy, and I choose to see the beauty and happiness in every moment I experience. That just makes you, or makes me, breathe just a little bit easier, to have that soft flow and allow. I love this. Yes, good, Lynn, good. So put this on your sticky note, your index card, your screensaver on your phone, put it somewhere. And if you don't have room to put all of that, the main thing is my days are filled with joy, right? Let's make that a declaration, an intention for our lives, that it's filled with joy. So joy can be so many things, right? I've told you the story before about happiness as a choice. Yes, yes, it is. And so I've told you the story before about when I dated this guy and we were at the mall, right? And this song came on and he starts dancing and singing and in the aisle, right? And I so wanted to join in because it looked like so much fun and joy. But I held back because I didn't want anybody to think I was silly, because I was sure I was not going to look as cool as he did doing that, right? So I had all this internal dialogue going on about why I shouldn't. And the reason I bring this up is because I've never forgotten it. It's not like it was no big deal and it just was a fleeting thought and went away. No, I have remembered this for many years, because I don't even know how many years ago that was. But it's because I so wished at that point I had been able to step into that joy and choose it, because it looked like so free and so fun, and I held myself back. And so what I want for you is, when you do or you see something that you know that's going to be joyful in the process, that you don't do like I did at that time and hold yourself back. Now I would have been up there acting a fool. And even that is kind of an odd way to put it, right? I would have been up there enjoying that song right along with him, instead of holding myself back and just smiling and letting him have all the fun, right? Let's see what this says. funny how we regret the things we did not do rather than the things we did. Yes, that is true. It happens a lot. And so, in that thread, I want to invite you to just find and see the joy and choose to see the beauty and happiness in every moment, because the what we look for, we find. So it is so powerful when we can decide that this is how we're going to be, this is who we are, and we allow it to just transpire in our lives. And it can be such a beautiful, calm, just release to have joy. Delicious, right? I love a good day of joy. And so we choose, just like you said, happiness is a choice. And it's interesting. Many years ago, another guy I dated, anyway, he was a little bit on the depressed side. And I didn't see it in him always, but he would just all of a sudden act so down. It was like it would be just, he would plummet, right? And I didn't understand it. And so he even got irritated because he said, "How can you be happy all the time?" And I said, "Well, I'm not happy all the time." I said, "I have moments that I will slip out of happiness for something that's going on, but I catch myself and I choose to be happy." And it pissed him off. And he said, "You can't just choose to be happy." I said, "Yes, you can." And he did not understand it. And we ended up parting ways because I didn't understand why he couldn't, and he didn't understand why I could. And I feel like some people, and I'm not saying that if you're clinically depressed that you can just choose happiness, although internally I think that, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a clinician. I'm, a transformational coach. So just take that as, and a hypnotist, that, that's my thoughts on it. So I'm not saying anything against you if you do suffer from hypnosis, from depression. Okay. But I think if we look at life, we can find a million things to be depressed about if we wanted to. And I think what happens to a lot of people is they get comfortable in whatever their situation is, whether they're depressed, they're in despair, they're happy, whatever it is, you can become addicted to that feeling, and you can stay there just because that's what you're comfortable with, right? And so I'm just asking you, as we're doing this, you can become comfortable with different thoughts and different aspirations. And so look at this. My days are filled with joy. And whether that feels true or not doesn't matter right now. The thing is, we want to be saying this, but we will also want to give it some power behind it, right? So as we're saying it, we're going to be giving it some emotion. So I would ask you right now, if you can just close your eyes for a moment and go back to a time in your life. It doesn't matter if it was 5 minutes ago or if it was 5 years ago or 15, 20, whatever, it doesn't matter. A time in your life where you felt filled with joy, and then just spend just a moment thinking about it and remembering it. What were you doing? Who was with you? What was the whole projection of? Were you at a party, or are you just having a good time with friends? What was that joy all about? And how did it really feel inside? And how could you see it if somebody was standing off and looking at you? How could they see that you were having so much joy? What were you doing? And then really get in touch with that feeling. And then that's the feeling that we want to have in this statement. My days are filled with joy, and I choose to see the beauty and happiness in every moment I experience. Find that joy from whenever it was. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it only happened once in your life. It doesn't matter. Bring it to the surface. Bring it to this statement. And the more you can tap into that joyful state that you were in as you say this statement, the more joy and beauty and happiness you're going to bring into your life. And you'll be able to see it and recognize it. I had a conversation with one of my friends this morning, and one of the things that happens to us a lot of time is that we have things that are filled with joy and happiness happening around us, but it happens quite frequently to certain degrees. And then we start feeling like, it's just another day. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. And we don't celebrate those moments as being the gift and the choice that we've made, right? So take some time today to really explore this within yourself, find that joy, and choose that beauty and happiness as you go throughout your day. Now let's go ahead and go to our journal prompt again. So assuming that whether you're doing this in the morning or you're doing this in the evening. So if you're doing it in the morning, you will say, where can I find unexpected joy in my day today? And then you're looking for it all day long. And what you're looking for, you'll find, right? And then if you're doing it in the evening, you can say, where did I experience unexpected joy in my day today? And just spend some time in silence before you work on this. I like to tell everybody, and I tell them every single time. So those that are new here, you might not have heard it, but every single time, this is what I ask or suggest is the right word, is that you have a journal or a notebook that's specifically for our daily affirmations and journal prompts. And then you put the date at the top and you put the affirmation and the journal prompt because they belong together. I create them to support one another, right? So write down your affirmation. Now you can put that on your sticky note, your index cards, your screensaver on your phone. You can put it on the mirror with a chalk marker, which I do quite frequently, wherever you want to put it. But make sure you put it on this page as well. And then you're going to put the journal prompt, and then you're going to take a few moments. And this is, you don't have to do a damn thing, right? But I'm suggesting that this would really help you to tune in and get the most bang for your buck, right? So take some time to be in silence. Just get quiet, focus on your breath. And then as that mind chatter begins, one of the things that helps me is to focus on the sounds in my room. So whether that's the sound, the screensaver of the computer, I can hear the rain outside. I can hear there's some chimes downstairs. Sometimes I can hear those. So sometimes I can hear the cats playing in the hallway. Whatever it is, get into those sounds, and those sounds will bring you back into the now, and you can quiet that chatter. Then you can begin thinking of this journal prompt. So when you've spent about 10, 15, sometimes I want to spend more time with the silence. Whatever works for you, just do it, right? And then when you open your eyes, you just allow your subconscious mind to feed you whatever it wants to feed you. And it's really powerful stuff, because most of the things are happening behind the scenes. While our conscious mind is figuring out what we're doing during the day, our subconscious mind is just really taking notes, and it's doing things, right? And so you want to be able to allow that subconscious mind to just pour out of you. So as you're sitting there, you've just opened your eyes and you've read this, then just allow whatever shows up. No judgment. Just allow it. Put it on the paper. It's not for anybody but you. Just brain dump whatever comes up. And then after you've just explored all of that, then you can look at how can you shift your perspective to find more joyful moments in your daily routine. And maybe that means that tomorrow you decide that when you're brushing your teeth, you're going to dance. We're going to find joy in that particular thing, right? And so you'll notice several times during the day, maybe a lot of times during the day, your thought will be, ooh, this is one of the tasks that I'm going to be doing. This is my daily routine. What can I do to make it more fun? what can I make it? How can I make it more joyful? Right? And that just brings you into the space of allowing joy to show up everywhere. So, how joyful do you want your life to be? I want mine to be exceptionally joyful. So, I'm going to be using this right here throughout my day and seeing what tasks that I do, where can I find more joy in it? And sometimes that might be playing some music, um, dancing around, drawing. I don't know. I don't know because I'm not there. So today, my experience is going to be different than it would have been had I not created this affirmation and journal prompt. So I hope that for you as well. So utilize this today to its greatest extent that you can. And the reason that I ask you or suggest that you put the affirmation in the journal prompt down with the date is because I want you to be able to come back in a month, 2 months, whatever the heck it is, even a week, and look and see what were you thinking would be this joyful moments and how that you could discover more of them. What were you thinking? What was going on in your mind? And you can see how you've adopted those things. You can see what those thoughts were and how now you might think of something totally different. But we cannot celebrate the things that we do not recognize that have even happened. And so that's why, to me, it's really important to have them in the journal, in your notebook with the date, so that you can come back. Because we do this every single day, our affirmation and our journal prompt. And if you're doing this every single day, you're changing every single day. That has become your new normal. And then tomorrow that becomes your new normal. And it happens over and over and over again to where you've changed incrementally. And most of the time, incremental changes go totally uncelebrated because we don't even see them. And I'm inviting you to be logging this stuff down so that you can see your growth, your expansion, your ideas. Oh, it can be such a delicious life if we choose. All right. So it has been a glorious time with you this morning. I am so happy. Thank you all for being here. Even those that may be watching and didn't say hello, I know you're here. So thank you for being here. And if you want to share in the group something that's happened with you for today, something that was an unexpected piece of joy, that it's like you want to share so somebody else can get the joy from it, do it. Do it. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's okay. Just make sure that you notice the joy in your life. All right. So it's time for me to leave. And thank you so much for sharing your joy with us. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Thank you for being here and for commenting and making me feel like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And who is other? And is it Thembi? I don't know how to say your name, Costa, but thank you for being here as well. I appreciate you and you participating full out. All right. So have a day filled with unexpected joy, and I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Mwah.